Okay, so general question of philosophy, like why do algebra books want you to rationalize the denominator? So like, in other words, why am I not just leaving it as 1 over the square root of 2? Why am I rewriting this as the square root of 2 over 2? Right? So the reason goes back to the days before calculators. And the issue is I want to know whether, like, I want to be able to compare 1 over the square root of 2 to a half. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Or did, oh, what the hell, let's make this weirder. So this is a little bit, what, bigger or smaller than a half?
That would be bigger.
Bigger than a half? Why?
Yeah, because that's number smaller.
Yeah, because you're dividing by a number that's a little smaller than 2, right? Okay, so if this is a little bigger than a half, I might wonder, oh, I don't know, let's see. A half is like 8/16. I might wonder, how does this compare to 11/16? You guys see that? I have no idea. And without a calculator, I am totally and wholly screwed. Right? I just don't know. But if I do this thing, so like the things I know are this. I know the square root of 2 is like 1.4. Right? And that's really about as good as I'm going to get without a calculator, and I really just flat remembered that. Cool? I don't really know what 1 divided by 1.4 is, and I'm not really sure how precise this 1.4 is anyway. So if I do that long division, I don't really get a very good guess, because it's being fed through a function, right? And I don't know where the error bars go. So I'll kind of see that. But if I do this, if I say, okay, well, what the heck, we'll multiply by root 2 on top and bottom. Then I get, okay, this guy is like 1.4 divided by 2, right?
Yeah.
And then I know how to convert between halves and 16ths, right? You guys see that? I'd multiply by 8 over 8. And I'll get 16, and on the top I have 40% more than 8 is cool. You guys with me on that?
You did it really fast.
Yeah, I did. So I did 8 times 4 is 32,
Oh.
and then I kicked the decimal place over, and then I added it back to 8. That's how you calculate tips in a restaurant, guys.
What? Wait, what? Hold on, do that.
Yeah, no, I've never seen that before. That's pretty. That's like.
So I was trying to figure out 1.4 times 8, right?
Uh-huh.
So welcome to Common Core land.
Hey, thanks.
I did 1 plus 0.4, right? And so times 8, I thought to myself, 1 plus 4 over 10 times 8 is 8 times 1 plus 4 over 10 times 8.
You're making this a lot more difficult
Yeah.
than the first line. The first line you just showed me was a lot easier than doing it. The 8 times 4.
Okay, so I did 8 times 4, I got 32, right?
Yeah.
That was me doing this step.
Well, yeah.
Then I kicked the decimal place over 1, that's that step. And then I added it back to 8. I'm just showing you why it worked.
Oh.
So if you want to know a percentage increase, right? Multiply by the percentage, kick the decimal to the appropriate spot, then add it back to the beginning. Cool? Yeah, so this is super old school, right? Because if I really wanted to compare 1 over the square root of 2 to 11/16, I'd punch 1 over the square root of 2 in a calculator, and I'd punch 11/16 in a calculator, and then compare the two numbers.
Yeah.
You guys see that? This is a totally useless skill these days. But it was a super useful skill When you wanted to know whether this socket was going to fit a little bit too small or a little bit too big back in the day, right? When you would have to look up the square root of 2 in a book to figure out what it is. And the book only goes to 4 places.
I got one of those.
Yeah, you have one of those silly books.
Yeah.
Or you can just take the socket and try it on the bowl. True.
Yeah, so you might wonder
Six.
other questions that are similar, right? Like, does this weigh more or less than that? These are kind of good. Yeah. How much of this square will fit in this circle? Yeah.
Nice. It's a good one.
Cool. Yeah, this helps. Things like this are good for when you're ballparking stuff like, will this slanty wall fit inside the building? Which I was doing yesterday.
Nice.
So,
Good investment places.
cool.